out for me, I'm about to
Time to shake the
blow.
dice, time to change your life. No more 9 to 5, autopilot drive. Used to work the fries.
They Said That podcast, season 2, real episode 2. Last episode was the Bow Wow challenge episode.
So it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. The Mr. David on Twitter, on Instagram.
It's a Caldwell thing, you heard me?
On Instagram.
Dog, that's why.
On Instagram. They Said That pod at gmail.com is the email. We got that out the way before we go into the topics that we have. Was there anything recent that caught your attention that you might want to mention?
You know what I'm trying to rhyme that on purpose?
No, not at all. I used to be a rapper.
Wasn't everybody
a rapper named Joe.
Yeah, every black nigga rapped at some point.
Everybody had a verse somewhere. Everybody got a verse tucked away.
Everybody had the studio, which was
somebody's closet,
a shitty mic in the closet, if you had a closet
or a car.
Yeah.
Word. Well, in case you were anticipating the next Young Thug release, it is called Easy Breezy Beautiful Thugger Girl. I just wanted to it's like a part of his soul just died. I can't take it.
I wasn't ready.
Neither was I. I mean, that.
As mentioned in passing last episode, that didn't happen. Murder Inc. is coming back. No one cares. You were talking when we were talking about Logic's album. You said it sounded like a Pepsi commercial.
Yes, this is true. It did sound like a Pepsi commercial.
What we didn't really go into more so was why. We just kind of laughed at it.
Why does it sound like a Pepsi commercial?
So when you say Pepsi commercial, why do you feel it sounds like a Pepsi commercial? And, like,
all right,
do you think it's a good album that sounds like a Pepsi commercial? Or is it like this is some corny shit that sounds like a Pepsi commercial?
Nah,
let's unpack this.
Here's what I mean when I say it sounds like a Pepsi commercial. Now, I guarantee you, if you listen to Hallelujah and you just play the fucking, the visuals from the last Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner and all that shit, it fits. It perfectly fits. Like, the music, the way it sounds, I'm not saying that it's a bad album. It just reminds me of that because of the message in the album. It's like coincide with the message that Pepsi was trying to put out and shit like that.
So it's very all lives matter.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's what I'm getting from this. But what I would say about the album, even though it sounds good, the stuff that he mentions, like when he was saying how he had a racist mom who would call him a nigga and shit like that.
Right.
I was interested in hearing what was life like that about, instead of just the plight of the biracial guy. Because I'm black,
I'm white, I'm white.
Yeah, I don't know the plight of it. I don't understand it, and I don't think he really went in that far in depth with it. He was just like, yeah, I'm not accepted on either side, so what the fuck am I gonna do?
He kind of tapped into it more on one of his many outro talking moments.
Yeah.
Rather than putting it in a rhyme, where it kind of would have been more receptive. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of talking on this album. And so this was the first time I heard Logic.
Okay.
Because I never knew he was even like half black. You know what I'm saying? Not that that's a requirement for me to want to listen to somebody.
Speaking of which, not just to cut you off, but
to cut me off.
But to cut you off. He's half black who just looks white. And it wouldn't be an issue if he wouldn't bring it up. Because he's not the only one who's biracial in rapping.
I think for him, because he looks like a white guy, is probably why it was tougher for him. Like, there's no time, I'm sure, that J. Cole ever was around white people who felt that freedom to just say whatever they want on some racist shit because he looked like one of them. He always looked like just a light-skinned black dude. Same thing with Drake. Even when he had the Jufro, he just looked like a light-skinned black dude with no hairline. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Logic, until I heard this album, I thought he was just another white rapper. I had no idea because I never listened to his music before.
All right, but well, it wouldn't really matter to you because you never heard his music before. But for me, it's like whether I thought he was, like a white rapper or a biracial rapper, it really didn't matter. It didn't change the message that he was trying to get out. So that's what I'm saying, like him saying, yeah, I'm biracial and these are my struggles, but I'm not going to tell you exactly about my struggles. I'm just going to say that we have struggles. I'm like, okay, that's nice.
I mean, speaking as a light-skinned black dude who kind of looks white.
Yes, toss it to Brian.
Well, I mean, first of all, let me start off and say I think it was an interesting approach he took, because it was on some philosophical type shit. There's a lot of that on the album, which I found interesting. Mm-hmm. Second, I thought it was also interesting to see things from a different perspective, as relates to like the race talk, right? So normally you only hear from it's like a dichotomy, right? You hear black and then it's like black against white or white against black or whatever, but you never see how nuanced that conversation could actually be. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting to see that coming from somebody who was mixed race, biracial.
Right. I think there is
something to the album itself.
Yeah, and I mean, I think there is a real struggle there that people who are biracial go through, especially, people who are biracial, but I think even more so biracial people who look more Caucasian. Mm. Because if you're biracial and you want to, let's say you just identify as black based on who you were raised around, but you look like a white guy, there's always going to be people who initially when they see you, they're going to look at you as just some white guy. Mm-hmm. And they're going to question your blackness. I mean... And then you have white people who, unless you tell them, they're not going to know that you're black or half black, and they may act in certain ways that they wouldn't around people who are quote-unquote regular black or typically black. Mm-hmm. So there's that side of it as well. So I understand there being some kind of struggle of like self identification.
Yeah, I mean, you never really fit in, right?
Right.
Like, you too white to be black and you too black to be white.
Right.
So you just like, you never really have you only really fit in with people, with your family, other people who look like you, raised like you.
And that's even if they accept you.
Right.
Because he even mentioned that how he dealt with that on sides of his family where they treated him like shit.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, dog, like, where do you go? So like that was really interesting to hear. It was the album itself. I liked it. I listened to it once. I'm gonna listen to it again. Yeah, it did kind of give me some quote unquote all lives matter vibes, but I get where he was trying to go with it. And he can rap.
Yeah, he can rap.
He can rap his ass off. He reminds me of Kendrick at times.
That's what I think his problem is, though. He reminds people of other people.
So the all lives matter thing, I don't know if that's fair. Because what I took from it was him. It was sort of an all lives matter message, true, but not. It was more so
not from like how everybody else say all lives matter.
Not in the typical all lives matter where it's just to combat Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
it's just I want to include everybody.
Yeah,
and it comes from a place of I wasn't included.
Yeah,
so I want to include everybody because I don't want nobody to feel like I did, and I can respect that.
Yeah, I think he was just mentioning. Oh, he was trying to make a point to show that everybody was like special and unique in their own way, like inclusiveness.
Right. It's like when he repeated like 4 or 5 times, not judged by race, religion, creed, sexual orientation. I'm like, okay. The first time I was like, all right, and then he said it again. I was like, okay, all right, and then he said the third time. I was like, all right, bro. He said the fourth time. I'm like, dog, is this the hook?
Yeah, that's the overall hook of the album.
Yeah, that's the album hook.
Yeah, that's the album hook.
The one knock I do have on the album is he talked too much.
Yeah, he did a lot of talking.
Yeah,
like there was a couple good skits in there or whatever, but he went overboard. Like
I think if you removed him talking and try and kind of weave in the overall skits into the end of the songs to like just to play out the theme, that could have worked more than just having himself talking.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you know, overall, like I said, I liked it. I do have trouble with listening to artists that remind me of other artists that I already have plenty of music that I already like to listen to from them.
Yeah.
So, but I think he's somebody who I'd probably at some point go and check out his work and be like, all right, I like this song, I like that song, or I like this album, whatever. So, but the other thing that I wanted to talk about with the album is when Adam, the character on there, is talking with Neil God, and so they're mentioning how he at some point was everybody else in existence, and every religion got it right. I found that interesting. Because it's like most people, the majority of people on the planet subscribe to some kind of religious belief. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, those religious beliefs are going to be that they're the ones who got it right. And others are either were on the right path, but they got it wrong on this. But it's essentially, this is the belief that it's supposed to be. It's got to be Christianity, or it's Islam. This is the right way, or it's this belief, or it's that belief. Whereas saying that everybody in whatever their own way got it right, again, it's kind of all lives matter. It's the inclusion of everybody. I just found that interesting as to be a take, because you don't really hear a lot of people saying that. You know what I'm saying? When people speak of like faith or whatever, they kind of go to their one belief system and stick to that. So I thought that was kind of cool that he was like,
yeah, I mean,
we shouldn't be trying to judge everybody else. We all got it right in our own way.
Yeah. It's like, I like the idea that he's saying, you know, instead of worrying about the little things that, you know, are lost in translation, or, you know, what you don't agree on, just stop the fucking killing each other, you know, stop pointing fingers and blaming each other and shit like that and fighting, when overall everybody's, I ain't gonna say everybody, but, you know, if we all pretty much going toward the same route, you know, just under different paths, you know, it's like, okay, then what's the point of fighting? I get that, you know. But yeah, overall the album was pretty okay. Like, will I keep it in my rotation? Probably not. But I'll pick and choose, you know, singles and shit when I want.
Yeah, man. Going back on like the whole everybody was, well, Adam was everybody at some point. It that caught me off guard. Well, off guard, I guess, because I remember one time, right? I was just up thinking. I was like, what if? And I had the same thought. Like, what if, in some way, the way you're supposed to find your purpose or whatever is right in life is that when you live, you're living your life, and when you die, you come back as somebody else, and it's just over and over and over and over and over.
Sounds like hell.
In a way. But then again, depends on like depends on what you come back as. Because I mean,
yeah,
if you had the memory and you came back as some fucking king who gets all the spoils of life, there's like, this is heaven.
Yeah,
but then you come back as the kid in fucking in the middle of Zimbabwe going through a civil war, then it's like, this is hell. You know what I'm saying? So
right, but I mean, I think that was the ultimate point of he was trying to make.
Right.
Like, in order to be truly, you know, to get rid of all of the fighting and judgments and all of that, it's good to have everybody's perspective.
Right.
And the only way you can do that is to actually experience what their life is like.
Right.
So
it's like an extended way of saying don't judge until you walk in somebody's shoes.
Yeah, basically. Which, you know, is like, I guess the real main point of his album to start with.
Yeah, man, that was cool, man. On to what I would call is would probably be a pretty often flyover topic. Trump, just kind of getting through that. So he fires the guy investigating him for his dealings with Russia, but says it's because of their investigation on Hillary, who he said should be in jail. And then subsequently around that same time, he meets with Russia and only allows them to take pictures of the meeting.
Right.
And doesn't tell anybody else who's in the room. The Sergei Slavinsky guy. So, all in all, he's still doing fuck shit.
They wanted to lock Hillary up for email, so I'm real interested to hear what Trump supporters now have to say about everything that he's done.
Dog, they still finding ways to support. That's the funny thing is like,
insanity.
He'll say it's fake news, so they'll say, yes, it's fake news. And then he'll be like, well, I mean, yeah, it happened, but I have the leeway to do it as president. And they'll be like, I mean, but he's president. He has the right to do that. Right. So, yeah, man, it's like how they say that Trump rating will never go below like 28, 23%.
I mean, it's just crazy to me. They were like literally chanting lock her up because Hillary sent the email off of her personal email account.
Yeah, man.
This dude here is like fired. So the guy who was investigating him is meeting with Russia.
And he came out talking about he tried to third time he got tapes.
Yeah, then he threatened dude.
And then but then James Comey comes back like, yo, dog, look, son, it ain't gonna be all that. All right, I got these memos. Don't get spicy, son. So yeah, man, and it's like, dog, I always go back to it's crazy. It's only been like 100-something days. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody on Facebook said that this is like a movie. I'm like, yeah, man, but it's only been 100-something days. So comparing to the time frame of a movie, we're not even outside of like the opening credits yet.
Right.
And all this already happened in the story.
I mean, I feel like this is a real life like House of Cards situation, except he's not nearly as smart nor good at being manipulative.
Yeah, man.
Like he really just don't give a fuck. You know, he's like that dude that you see out on the corner who's drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning yelling at people. Like, that's who we have as president. He don't give a fuck. You tell him, oh, you gotta move. He's gonna be like, oh, fuck you. I can stand here if I want.
and speaking of the negative shout outs to Trump, I want to give a negative shout out to somebody who's never gonna hear this. The homeless guy who had the audacity to ask me for change for food while having a Confederate flag in his pocket and the Confederate flag on his hat. So I hope you get no sandwiches ever.
Just sandwiches?
Just sandwiches, man. Because homeless niggas love sandwiches, dog. Because they can hold it and it's like real personal. Like, they love that shit.
I tend not to watch homeless people eat their food. It's gross.
I have to go ahead and
It's gross. Look at him. He was so hungry.
Nah, it ain't that. It's the fact that, my thought process just won't allow me to watch that because I'm like, he's not going to wash his hands before he eats. He probably hasn't washed his hands in a week,
That's assuming the nigga had access to soap.
Exactly. And then you get to think about all these things while this guy is just, nourishing his soul with this food that he found.
Just stay there and just look at him. Just look at him. I bet he didn't wash his hands.
But I think
he didn't wash his hands.
And look, point of the story is if normal homeless guy, I would feel a little bad for. But
yeah.
Homeless guy wearing a whole bunch of Confederate apparel. Nah, not so much. Kick rocks.
I find myself
and here's
dragging
the
my feet.
The flag and the hat were clean. So
I just gave it to him.
I'm saying, bruh.
Like here's my question now.
If you gonna be homeless, my nigga, look like it.
Now here's the thing though.
And don't have a funny sign.
Now,
Because word to Chris Rock, real homeless people are too hungry to be funny.
I'm giving homeless people with funny signs money to grow though, and food.
Yo,
Also-
remember your point. But look, though, on Louisiana Avenue at South Claiborne, there's like homeless people signs that's just like posted up there. I'm like, how you got like in place signs? Like all you gotta do is just stand here and like your begging is halfway done already.
Because that's their corner.
yeah,
That's millennial begging.
Yeah, that's their corner, bro.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
it all.
backpackers. They don't even really be like hungry and shit. They
Crazy.
just
I
decide to
don't
leave
know.
home.
I tell you what, they had a man on St. Charles ruined it for all homeless people for me. That nigga had a sign said he was hungry, he was starving. So I had food. I was like at lunch from work or whatever. I had like a couple of leftover pieces of pizza. So I gave it to him. I go get in my car. I drive off. I look in the rearview mirror. Nigga threw my shit on the ground. So like he opened the thing, saw what it was, and like threw it face down on the ground. So I almost spun the bend and go back and talk to him. But I was like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna leave it alone. But no homeless person ain't never getting no fucking food from me ever again. He ruined it for everybody.
That's
Oh,
what they'll never want. I ain't gonna say all of them, but when they asking for food and shit and not accepting food, they never wanted the food. They just wanted the money to go fix their habit and shit.
Yeah, I
but
know.
some of them,
But that's false advertising.
Yeah.
Don't put you hungry on your thing.
just be like, man, give me $1.
Just be honest.
yeah.
Give me $1 toward my next bill, man.
Yeah, just be.
Now
fucking honest.
I would have helped that guy out.
So, just something I noticed real quick. I saw these articles, right? So it was 27 women gave their reasons why they cheated, and then another one was like 27 men gave reason why they cheated. I didn't have the time to read all of them. I read like the first 10. But the women always gave like long descriptions how they felt, that they weren't appreciated.
They want you to believe their side.
They felt they were in emotionally abusive relationships. They didn't feel fulfilled. They didn't feel wanted. And Paul at the job was like, girl, you shouldn't be having to go through that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? If it was me, if I was your man, I'd make you feel like a queen every day. Every day it'd be Valentine's Day.
How?
So
They make the same amount of money. She can't treat herself like so he can't do it.
And then you read the men's.
and then you read the men's and it's like,
oh, she was available. Oh,
look,
she
man.
had fat ass.
Hey, man, it's like, look, man, I had this girlfriend, and we were doing good, but then she told me no one night, and Sally had ass available. I kind of forget where I wanted to go with that, but I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. Just look, man, women can kind of save all the hoopla. Look, man, if you wanted to just get you, go ahead and get you. Although I have gotten to the point where I'm like, look, man, if you're going to cheat, just go ahead and just break up.
Yeah.
Just break up. At least you'll be respectable. You know what I'm saying?
My analysis of that is women want to seem way more complicated than men. Like, men are simple, right? So they're going to tell you, why'd you cheat? Oh, I saw a bitch, she had a big ass, like I wanted some. And we're going to ask a woman, she's going to come up with 10 million reasons about why she cheated.
This
and it wasn't
backstory.
her fault. And
That's the whole reason of the story,
that.
so it wouldn't be her fault.
Right,
That's the whole reason
right.
of the backstory.
Yeah, man.
But that don't change the fact.
Right, but it still happened and you did it, so you're going bad. Like,
so either way, I mean,
I'm not saying the men's reasons
I'm like,
are any more
and we-
acceptable.
Here's
I'm
the
saying,
thing.
like, it is never
On the
acceptable.
real, when you think about it, this does go a bit further. The women's one is worse. Because when you think about it, that means that they had more time to think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
You had more time to make a sound decision.
Right.
He saw cheeks. He was like, cheeks. And you know what I'm saying? And he did it.
Yeah.
Whereas the woman was like, okay, we've become friends on the job, or we see each other at the gym.
And this nigga ain't doing what I want him to do.
I have this time to think about it.
Yeah.
He has this time to charm me. He has all this time to buy me salads when we finish on the elliptical. Now, you know what I'm saying, she's going, you know what I'm saying, slip and fall on dick. Right. Whereas he was like, hey, man, I saw her at 3 o'clock. I was in Cheeks by 4. I was blinded for like an hour. It was a bad decision.
Right, I felt bad when I was done.
Right.
Stop lying. Don't lie. Fuck that.
No, but I guess the thing is, it ain't never acceptable. And you're right. If you're gonna do it, just leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do all that, just leave. Just be out.
Yeah.
Why prolong it and then make the other person feel like it was their fault?
Right. Yeah, man. Now, here's one that I didn't plan on, but it kind of made me think about it because I heard 2 different perspectives on it. So somebody cheats and they feel bad about it. Should they tell their significant other if there's no way that they would find out otherwise?
If they could live with us with the shit, then why tell? But if it's fucking with you that much, you might as well have not cheated in the first place, because obviously you're not cut out for that type of life. Mm-hmm. But if it's fucking with you that much, you might as well just go ahead, rip that band-aid off, get it over with, because eventually you're going to tell on yourself anyway.
Right. Now, the other side, of course, would be the people who say that it's best to be honest, be forthcoming, and hope for their forgiveness and not make that mistake again.
Yeah, I mean, that too.
Now, I think it was Charlemagne who said, no, don't tell them. Because you're not telling them because you feel guilty. Well, yeah, you're telling them because you feel guilty, but it's not because you want to do the right thing. It's that you don't want to be the only one that feels shitty about it.
Yeah.
Because now when you tell them, oh, hey, husband who I love, I fucked Jerry. You know what I'm saying? Now he has to be like, damn, I got cheated on.
Yeah.
And especially if it's your spouse, now they got to figure, yo, do I have to go through that divorce shit now?
I mean,
do you want to go through that divorce?
Do I want to have to go through that? If they got kids, yo, like now everybody fucked up.
I mean, yeah, but that's true. But speaking from my own perspective, I would want to know. Like, if I was with somebody and they fucked around, even if it was like just on some like one time, I slipped, fell, and it would never happen again type shit, I still want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather somebody come out and tell me before I find out for myself.
Let me do with it what I will.
You know, like, I feel like when shit like that goes down, it has a way of finding its way to the light. It comes out eventually. Somehow you can hide it as much as you want to. Eventually this shit gonna come out.
And it's gonna be worse
than
if you just told me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I gotta find out on my own, because now you've been lying to me.
Yeah, so now.
Since I done found out, so now my reaction
is gonna be bad.
10 times worse.
And that's how niggas end up killing people.
Now with that lie, with those lies, there's also the preventative telling that clearly there's something happening that's make them start to kind of look elsewhere.
Right.
Because now that's where you can be like, look, something ain't right. I ain't did shit, but I started looking. I don't want to do that. We need to try to fix this or go our separate ways. I think that's like, because a lot of people don't mention that part of it.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I guess they try to not deal with it. Because sometimes people just feel too far gone. So I guess that's their reasoning. But
right, but again, like, my thing is, if you're gonna do that, if you feeling that type of way, just break up.
Right.
Yeah.
Just break up with me. Tell me it's over. So then you go do it. You free. Now you free to go do what you want.
Right.
And don't have to feel bad about it and don't have to lie.
You don't have to cheat. You can break up.
Exactly.
You can just be like, I don't gotta deal with this shit.
Even if you are married and have kids and all of that, like, that's still, to me, that's a better scenario than for my woman to go out and cheat and then hide it.
And now the nigga that's at fucking Houston's serving you curly fries is the nigga who's putting it down on the weekend.
Right. And then when I find out, everybody gotta go.
Yeah, you got some
nah.
shit toward you. You alright?
Oh, yeah. I'm straight.
And then I find out.
I just like to be very descriptive.
Then I find out.
That's just sounded personal.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn, man. This how you want vent for real?
Nah, it's
Right,
all
and then you
good.
find out, and the whole Houston's got to go.
Yo, man,
Like-
all of Houston's gotta go. I don't even
Yeah.
want to see Houston,
But
Texas.
bro, that's what I be telling a
Don't,
lot of
yo,
people.
if I go to the old school 2000s party, don't play Houston. I don't want to hear Marcus Houston.
But that be the thing, you know, when it comes down to like, you know, emotions and shit. Like when a man gets his emotions into the shit too deep, that's how motherfuckers end up dead. Cause I keep telling everybody, an emotional man is a fucking dangerous one.
Dog,
He's liable to
the
kill
two
you, himself,
most
and
dang-
everybody involved.
Dog, the two most dangerous men in the world is a highly emotional man and a scared nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because a scared nigga kill you before a quote unquote real nigga would.
Yeah.
Then he, oh shit! Pop. You know what I mean? Now 3 niggas got shot, and
Including himself.
include himself.
But just like how you said, you know, with the Houston's thing, an emotional man. Now everybody in
Yeah,
Houston's
man.
dead.
Right.
And I like Houston's.
now
They
you-
have good
Right.
appetizers.
And now I wanted to go get some spinach and artichoke and somebody burning W's.
Yeah.
They done blew the fuck up. They done blew
Right.
Houston's up, man.
Nigga done turned into ISIS and all Houston's got to go.
Now motherfuckers chasing you down the G&O Bridge. You surrounded. You done got up there and you about to jump to your death.
And then you land on the bridge.
and you land on the bridge. Don't let your emotions take hold.
Yeah,
man,
bro.
you know.
Don't do that.
Don't be
bro.
that guy.
Don't
that,
do
but that was that nigga who jumped from the bridge onto the bridge.
He missed
That
the, he
was-
missed the fucking river.
A combination of emotional nigga and scared nigga. He wanted to die.
But he was scared to die.
Yeah.
He even fucked that up.
Yeah.
He changed his mind mid-jump. He heard that Keisha Cole song as soon as he took off. I changed my mind. I don't want to.
I don't want to know.
It seems like that would have made him jump though.
Oh man.
What, just hearing Keisha Cole?
Yeah.
Now, staying on the topic of men and what I'm trying to keep I'm trying to keep these transitions tight. You know what I'm saying? With less edit time.
Yeah.
So,
Lazy ass nigga.
yeah. So something else what you posted online was
the
about
trash.
with the taking the trash out, but overall it's like it's gender politics. It's like
Yeah,
this is
gender.
what men are supposed to do, or this is what women are supposed to do.
Man, that shit used
So
to like
yeah, you can
drive.
take that.
That used to drive the fuck out of me as a kid.
Explain what you talking about.
All right, now I saw this post on Facebook and I reposted it, and it was basically saying, you know, it's a man's job to take out the trash. And over years, you know, I've always heard this, and even as a kid, you know, that's what I was taught. But as a kid, I never understood, cause I'm like, why? Why is this my job? You know, and nobody can ever give me a straight answer. They'll just say, you know what, it's because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, well, taking all that as, well, so what the fuck? Am I supposed to just be like y'all servants? You know, because I'm supposed to open y'all doors and shit. Who the fuck doing all this shit for me? This is what my life gonna be? That's how I took chivalry and all that shit as a kid, because nobody could explain it to me. And to this day, I've given my own reasons for chivalry, you know, because I feel like I'm only pulling out a chair so I can see her bend over to sit down. You know, I'm only opening the door so I get a good view of that ass when she's getting into the car.
The creep life never sleeps.
Nah, it doesn't. That is my reason for doing it. You know, but over time, you know, that's what I developed it into. But as a kid, I could never get a straight answer on why should I do all this shit.
Because the people that you was asking didn't know either, because that's what they was taught and that's what they always did. And I think that goes back to, you know, what I believe the time they talk about when they talk about make America great again. So that's like when in the 1950s and 40s when man was the head of the household, the women stayed home and cooked. And
Or if they did work, they stopped work. There's two things that happened with them working. One, they went to work to find a husband,
right,
and when they found a husband, they stopped working.
right,
Or two, they worked till like 30 years old, and they just took the first husband they can find
right,
and start popping out babies.
right.
So
And that's just it. The man was the breadwinner. The man went to work. The women didn't do nothing. So
people knew, quote unquote, their place.
yeah. So I think that's that whole idea of like chivalry is a holdover from that time, but times are different now.
Mm-hmm.
So with the women is, women go out, they work, they run their own houses. It's more of equitable division of labor now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, in my opinion, I think how it should be. So
Yeah.
if you're asking, do I think that men should still be doing all of those things? I mean, I think it's nice to, if you go out with a chick, to like open doors and be respectful.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was saying.
if you're talking about like being in a relationship where y'all are both like co-running a house or whatever, then no, I think it should be equitable. I think there should be times where she take the trash out and you do the dishes. Like, gender roles to me are, I guess, kind of silly in this day, in this age.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Because-
like I do with children, I think men should take care of the children, change diapers sometimes, but everybody should be pitching in to
Right.
make
Yeah.
sure that the house runs smoothly,
Right.
and everybody should be contributing. So I don't think the idea like you stay home while I go to work. No, you get your ass up and go to work too.
Now when it comes to that, I think when that makes sense, let's say if it's a couple who they get to the point they have like, let's say they have like 3 children at home, especially they have 3 young children, like they knock them out back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say he's working a job where he's making like enough to take care of everything. They could even save money. They like they making bread. Let's say he's making $150K a year, right? And he says, or they come to an agreement together, which would probably be better to say, look, we got these 3 young kids at home. I make plenty of money doing my job. If you want to, stay home, take care of the kid, because that's a fucking job.
Yeah. So
So it has to be, it's as long as it's understood, not like this is your role,
Yeah.
but this is what would probably be better for
right,
the
and that's
just like if it was opposite, if she was a high-powered attorney and she had kids and now they got that out the way, and you know what I'm saying, and she's making plenty of money to hold down the fort.
Yeah.
Hey man, yo,
Look, I agree
I
with
stay.
all of that. If it's by mutual agreement,
Yeah.
Right.
you making enough money to be able to do that, but that's a lot of motherfucking ifs. You
Right?
know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But what I don't want you to do is expect that I'm gonna be out here hustling for $60,000 a year, and we got 3 kids, and you want to be at home not doing nothing, and I'm out here
Right.
busting my ass working double and triple shifts.
Right.
So you can sit your ass at home and take care of the kids. No, you got to get out and work too. We'll get the kids straight out.
Right.
They'll be straight. We'll
Right.
figure that out. But you need to go out here and make, because I can't do this by myself.
Exactly.
Now here's where like it used to get confusing for me, because like I came up in a single parent household. So it's like when the whole gender role shit, came into play, there was never that balance of, teaching, like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do and all that, and that explaining. So I'm like, well, once they was like, yeah, well, you gotta, that's just how a man's supposed to treat women. So I'm like, this is where I gotta draw my line at. Because I have no problem doing, going an extra mile for the women I consider special in my life. But as far as, random people, I'm like, fuck y'all. I have no real reason to help you out. I have no want to help you out because I don't know you. So, no. And I got a little backlash for that, but who cares?
I mean, there's some people who would say like, oh, if you're a man and you see a woman struggling with something just on the random, as a man, you should want to go help her.
Nah, it doesn't work like that though. Because like,
if I don't know you, I can make the choice if I want to or not, but I'm not required to go over and go help you with whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah, because like I got a response one time on there when one of them was like, yeah, well, my dad used to do it and he didn't want, his wife or his daughters, going out at night taking out the trash and shit. I'm like, I understand that.
Take out the trash in the afternoon then. Shit.
Yeah, it's like I understand that, but you know, from my point of view, I'm like,
plus, yo, dog, it ain't night, especially this time of year, until about 8 o'clock. You can take out the trash at 7.
Nah, but there are times, you know, where it ends up you gotta take the trash out at night, and like I'm like, well, as a kid, I'm like, I don't want to go out there and deal with that shit either. You know, as a kid, I'm scared of the fucking block.
Nah,
motherfuckers dying.
I will say this, like if I was at home with my mom and it was nighttime, like at night, and I saw her preparing trash to take out, I would not let her take it out. I would take it out.
Nah, it depends on what age it is for me, because when anything before 14, I was scared as shit to go outside. You know, I'm like, man, last time I went, 2 niggas died across the street. You know, the neighbor got dogs, and we don't have a fence that divides the house, the alley. We share that alley, so I ain't want to deal with them fucking dogs. I ain't want to deal with none of that shit.
See, I look at it 2 different ways though. If it's my mom's, I'm pretty much always wanting to just go ahead and just take it, because that's my mom's.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's different when it's somebody who's an able-bodied adult that I'm just sharing a household with now. You know,
I don't know though.
like,
even if I was with my girl, I probably would be, and it was like late at night or whatever, and we forgot to take the trash out, I'd be like, nah, don't worry about it, I got it.
See, that's different.
Now that's a, and I agree with that, but that's a, I'm willing to just go ahead and do it. It's not a, I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Or like she can just be like, or like I'm in the middle of something and she's not doing nothing, and she'd be like, oh, don't forget to take the trash out. No, nigga, you go take the trash out.
Because that's, that's how my mindset is. I'm like, if there's nothing wrong with you that's stopping you from...
If I'm giving my son a bath at the moment, don't come tell me, oh, don't forget to take the trash out.
Don't come wake me up to go take the trash out. If you see if you need to go out, why didn't you just take it out?
Right.
You know, like... Yeah, I get it. I get certain times, you know, yeah, you should. But at the same time, I'm like, there's nothing stopping you. You don't have to wait for me because I'm a man. Just because I come with a dick, you know, doesn't mean I have to do all this extra shit. Mm-hmm. You know?
See, and then also, there's the whole thing about, have y'all heard the term cisgender?
No.
So I used to hear it, but I didn't know.
Nah, that's not a romper. Thought it was a romper.
Is that even a guy?
I don't know. Doesn't matter. I mean, I thought ain't they unisex?
Well, rompers were always women's clothing, and then guys.
I saw James Bond in one.
I guess, man. I'll probably cut that. But so cisgender really just means that whatever your biological makeup, which led to you being born male, mm-hmm. and you were born with a dick and balls, so you will adhere to gender role, like you live by the gender that you were, quote unquote, assigned at birth based on your biology.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. So right. So sex is what you were born as. Gender is what you're taught.
Right. So cisgender would be like you connect them both. They're not separated. Where there's people who are more, especially now, gender fluid. They're like, well, you were born with male sex, but
you can be what you want.
You can be what you want as you grow and you learn who you are. Right. So I forget where I was going with that.
I don't know.
I forget. Yeah. I'll probably whatever. So that part probably would just whatever. Alright, so instead of doing like people like sending in emails and shit, I decided, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna find where people start talking about something and we can address it here. Okay. So I found 2. One of them, and they're on a site that I use. So first goes to Bastille. I'm gonna go back on this thread and I'll send him a link and be like, yo, Chester's out, we talked about what you were talking about. So his posting was, okay, so the topic is, my girlfriend of 6 months keeps mentioning this guy on social media for the past month. So she keeps talking about this guy that she, I guess, follows on social media. So he says, so I ignored it for a month, and just this week I questioned her about this. And she said he's a childhood friend of hers. Shit's been putting me on edge for a while, liking his pics and posting emojis on his IG page. I don't know what to do. This is definitely new generation relationship problems.
So here's my initial question. Yeah, they've been dating for 6 months, right?
Six months.
Do you trust her?
30 days, 6 times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
They met in January. He's talking about this in July.
Right.
Okay, so now let's put into perspective how short of a damn time that really is.
Yeah. That's no time.
They don't have an anniversary yet.
Yeah.
So you have to, I guess my point is, you have to decide at some point, is she trustworthy? Do you trust her? Because if you do, then that shit is not, it shouldn't bother you. I mean, to me, it seems a little slightly insecure. He's some dude. I mean, is she hanging out with this dude in real life?
I wish I knew how old this guy was.
Yeah. I mean, then you got to also realize what kind of friendship did they have? Was it a platonic friendship, or was it they used to fuck around with each other, but now they just cool? You know,
she says he's a childhood friend. So at least if they
that
were
could
a
be
childhood friend, I would think when somebody says childhood friend, it's pre-cheeks. And then, I mean, but it could have happened at some point in time.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to Butter. But
Shout out to Butter.
You know she getting married though anyway.
Word?
Yeah, I'm going out to Texas in August.
Hey, congrats to Butter. You getting married.
But
it's all downhill from here now.
But that's what I'm saying though. It's like, now me and her were platonic, but we also had something, you know, but we still cool, and we also at the mature level where I'm not gonna fuck up what she got. She's not gonna even attempt to do that, you know. So it depends on what level of maturity y'all at, what kind of relationship does she have, what, you know, with this friend, you know.
I mean, to me, like, again, it just sounds a little insecure. Like,
yeah.
So what if she's liking a nigga's Instagram post? Like, again, I know they childhood friends, but like, is this somebody that she hangs out with on a regular basis? Like,
really
they got a whole
important?
bunch. If you just mad that she's on social media liking shit, then that sounds like it's more your problem than hers.
Sound like he gonna be mad for a minute.
Plus,
and I mean, again, like, you just need to decide: do you trust her or not? And if you don't, then you need to move on anyway.
There's only one way you're gonna know what somebody likes on Instagram, and that's if you go looking for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the saying always goes that if you go looking for something, you're gonna find it.
Yep.
So my thing on that is, like y'all said, you gotta question the trust level. Also, it's only been 6 months, so technically y'all niggas ain't together yet.
Y'all don't even really know each other.
Right, man. Like, come on, 6 months.
You don't know her grandparents,
dog. Until you, like, you don't know her. Like, her mama don't know you like that.
You probably don't know her middle name.
You probably don't know her middle name.
I guarantee y'all still lying to each other. So,
and it's to the point to where you might know her middle name. You just think that's her first name because that's just what her family always called her. You know what I'm saying? So 6 months.
6 months is way too early for you to be worried about.
You gotta
this shit.
chill, man.
And then on top of that, you stop questioning her about it.
Yeah, it just makes you look like a bitch.
Right, and all it makes it worse. Then she gonna lose respect. Next thing you know, she'll be liking that nigga's Instagram page and sucking some other nigga's dick.
Yeah.
So
you don't want
a different nigga,
right?
Because that's just really just her friend,
right? So yeah, man. Let the lack of trust go.
Stop being insecure.
Stop being insecure unless you're an HBO TV show.
And get to know your woman before you start worrying about this shit.
Get to know who you're dealing with.
And are you liking bitches' Instagram?
Yeah, because if you're doing the same shit, then you can't be the pot calling the kettle black.
You can't be complaining when you have like 4 people that you really know on Instagram and everybody else is the IG thought selling fit tea. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are liking and following all this other... Why are they driving the wrong way?
Because people are stupid.
Yeah.
So, this is why
Continue
this.
to do it.
Yeah, right. He don't give a shit.
They're just stupid. And on the phone. So you're stupid times two.
Because all the cars facing the opposite direction is totally not a sign.
Nah,
Right,
it's
not at all.
The
They
car
fucked
just
up,
driving
man.
towards you wasn't a sign.
Yeah, they fucked up, not her. She all right.
Opposite day.
But as far as this goes, this is why I'm a firm believer that you and your significant other should not be friends with each other on social media. You shouldn't. Yeah, keep that separate.
Yeah, see, that or, like, because, I mean, obviously, I've never had an issue with being friends on social media, but you got to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Because some people take that shit so serious. But then also, you need to make sure, are you dealing with somebody who sets alerts to your postings and doings on social media?
Yeah.
Because you have people who will be notified every time you tweet something.
But you also
every
got to
time you
realize
post something. I'm like, you might be dealing with somebody who is so insecure that they're going to question everything you do. And
don't be that person, guy.
they're going to, like, eventually they're going to go crazy.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, man.
It's a big problem.
Like, although I know times have changed over the past almost 10 years, but I'm still of the mindset of there's the internet and then there's real life. It's gotten to the point to where they're kind of synonymous now.
Yeah.
Because one can really affect your real life now. But still, it's like, let that shit be that. Like, the internet is a place to escape, get away from the bullshit of real life. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have...
But now you got to get away from the internet.
Yeah.
Escape the bullshit of the
ain't that
internet
something?
these days.
So, people take the dealings of the internet and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and
But
all...
I'm pretty sure 6
They
months
take it
in,
so damn serious,
he don't know
man.
if he's dealing with that type of person or
My
not.
thing
No,
is,
she should know if she was dealing with that kind of person.
6 months in?
No. I'm like not saying she should know. I've said that wrong, but she needs to make sure if she's dealing with that kind of person. Like, he's asking me about liking pictures. This is somebody who I might not want to deal with.
Is it that important?
my advice to him is, you asked her about it. She said it's a childhood friend.
Let it be
You
that.
ain't got no choice but to believe it till you find out something opposite. And
Right.
that don't mean go look.
Right.
That don't mean go look. That don't mean keep asking. That just means be observant. Know who you dealing with.
Really, though.
Plus, if that's your girlfriend, that is a steady supply of cheeks. Never put the cheeks at risk.
That note.
So our second and final is Dro Smoke 81. The title of this is She Only Showers 3 times out of the week.
Oh my God. That's
So, what up? Would you continue to date a chick if you found out she only showered / bathed about 3 times of the week? Crazy thing about it is she doesn't have a body odor, nor does the kitty. What y'all think? What stood out to me on that was the word about. Because the word about means
Could be more,
possibility.
could be less.
Yeah.
Could be more, could be less.
Nah, I remember you was bringing this up earlier, and I get the science, but I still don't trust it.
I don't even know what's the science behind
Yeah.
it.
I mean, because
I was about to ask.
Dirty is dirty.
Basically, if a woman overwashes her vagina, it gets worse, and it throws off the balance and shit. And that's
That ain't
what-
got shit to do with your armpits.
Nah, I get that. I'm just saying, because they got all that extra shit that you go into, and I'm not about to do that. But like I said, I don't trust it. You know, I've been around women who does that, and they don't have the body odor and all that shit. But still, once they let that cat out the bag, I'm not so sure I'm interested in that cat no more.
Cat out the bag.
I mean, that's dirty, son. That's dirty. That is dirty.
Cause I remember the first time I heard it was with Big Sean and what was her name? The chick from Glee. What they thought the I Don't Fuck With You song was about. They said she said the same thing.
Chick from Glee.
Yeah,
Glee
from
chick.
Glee, the Glee chick.
First name Glee, last name Chick.
Yeah, because they were saying she didn't be her and they said, I think they said the same thing about Janae. I
have heard of her not showering every day.
You know, and it's like
I'm gonna say it like this: if she don't stink nowhere, and you willing to deal with that, that's great. But I mean, because to me, it would only be a real serious problem for me is if you came in that bitch smelling like outside.
Yeah,
you just smell nasty every day, or like sweat, coffee, ground coffee. I might have a problem.
Right.
But I think that also depends on where you live in the world, right? Because I know like here in New Orleans and Louisiana, bitch, you bathing every day.
Yeah.
Because if not, you gonna stink.
Right.
You will smell. You gonna smell like shit.
The only time, and I'll bring it to the only time I've gone a day without showering, I was inside all day.
Right.
AC was on, so it's not like I was sweating and shit. Like, let's say I showered that night before. I woke up. I'm on Netflix all day. I'm playing the game. I'm chilling in the crib with the youngin' and the lady and all that. And then it comes to nighttime, and I'm like, I ain't did nothing all day. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only time. But as soon as you step outside, if your foot touches the porch, you gotta take a shower.
Yeah.
Like, if you end up in the elements, nah, man, you got to be cleaned up. You got to.
Yeah.
I can't dig that. There's no.
Nah, my real question would be just how serious is he with this girl? Because at what point did she come out and just tell you that she just don't wash her ass?
I mean, my guess
because
is,
how comfortable can you be with somebody? Be like, yeah, I don't wash my ass too often, so. My
guess is he probably spent the night a few times at the crib and didn't see no shower action happening.
That shower stay clean, huh?
Yeah, so he probably like put two and two together at some point. I doubt nobody just
unless they was gonna go somewhere and he's like, oh, do you have to shower first? And she was like, I already took a shower like yesterday.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, but today's today.
And
she would be like, I don't take a shower every day. You know, it's like, unless I really need, then, I mean, I could see that being like a natural flow of conversation.
Now, here would be like a even bigger question. How long have they been together? You know, because it's like, if you've been dealing with this shit for a set amount of time and you haven't noticed anything by now, and now she's telling you that she barely washes her ass, like, is that a deal breaker now? Like, what if you like 2 years into a relationship and you just finding out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess at that point, then it's like you've already grown accustomed to this person and you know that they're generally clean.
Or do you like secretly just wash them when they don't see it coming? Like they come around the corner, you just douse them with a bucket of soapy water or some shit.
Catch it with the chlorophyll, but she never realized. some Bill Cosby. Give her baths.
You gotta check the rest of it too. Like what a house look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is a house dirty? Is a sink full of dishes? She got roaches.
Is there a ring around it?
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. You gotta put all that together. Because if she's generally a clean person and she just skip a day, every couple of times a week bathing, as long as she don't stink and it ain't. You
know what also stood out as probably a problem about it though? It's like about 3 times. If the times that you take a shower is less than half of the week. If he would have said like 4 or only 5 times, like she might not take a shower twice or 3 times out the week, then I'll be like, at least majority of the time she's doing it. But like 3, come on, man, you kind of pushing it, man. You kind of pushing. I got questions. That's all, man.
I got some concerns.
I got questions. I got to check your pH balance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something about you might be acidic. I gotta make sure we all safe around here. You know what I mean?
I don't want to have to love you from afar.
Exactly. I don't want to have to literally feed you with a long-handled spoon.
You know.
The moral of the story is, water and soap must touch ass.
Yeah, man.
Frequently.
Wash the cheeks, man.
Yeah. Frequently.
Hey, man. Still, don't put the cheeks at risk, bruh.
And you niggas out there that don't use, and females too that don't use washcloths, y'all nasty too.
Yeah. You can't just do soap and water. Your hands, your hands ain't gonna cut it.
Your hands dirty too, bro.
Yeah, y'all nasty too.
Yeah, man. And you
So
gotta
exfoliate
like
on the real, dog. You gotta have at least 2. You got to, man. You ain't gonna try to go back and wash your face after you wash your ass, is you?
Nah, I don't use the washcloth on my face.
I have like soap in the real, like to get like right up in there, cause like to scrub like between like the creases like your nose and stuff.
I can use the exfoliant shit to get up in there.
I mean, if you're using that, then that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't use washcloths on my face either.
Really?
Oh, I got a separate one.
Oh yeah.
Like I got a washcloth.
I use it separate.
I'm actually a fan of using sponges, like them bad sponges.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that shit is pretty fucking
Hey
awesome.
man, the best
I
thing,
fucks with them.
the best thing is
that loofah.
the rough loofah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's natural exfoliant right
son,
there.
I done felt so clean using a rough loofah.
Son, so for the niggas that out there that in the
Real life bath talk. You heard?
Yeah.
You heard?
We do
bath
this.
talk.
Yeah.
Dead, we clean.
If y'all don't like it,
Every day we shower. Ain't no about.
so y'all
Well, at least we know we shower more than his old lady. So.
more than about 3 times a week. So about every day.
I mean, we ain't trying to rib your old lady, but this is what we do, so we rib your old lady, all right?
Hey man, is what it is, though.
But hey, you love her. You know.
You know.
You concerned, you looking for help, so
Yeah.
here we are.
Just be careful how you dying.
Send this to her.
But only dying on them days that water touched it. Anyway.
Come on, man, I gotta get home, man. It's Tuesday. You don't know what this means, man.
He don't know nothing about that fresh out the shower. Like, anyway. Man, they got these like gloves, right? So it's like a loofah, but it's a glove.
Yeah.
Man, that shit's so cold.
That sound cool,
Yeah,
man.
it be washing, but you do is like exfoliating and shit. Skin be out soft.
Yeah,
You need
man.
to get on them.
Yeah,
He's trying to be clean in these streets,
Yeah.
man.
you got to. Cleanliness next to godliness, so they say, man.
Believe that.
I don't know if you had any advice for that guy.
I mean,
Maybe you should just be dirty too.
just
Two peas in a pie, man.
be
Man.
dirty with your girl.
Like, you love her, right? So,
Like, look, hey, look, I only shower about 3 times a week now, cause
my
I'm gonna.
advice, and if you wanted to shower more, just shower once a week. Then she gonna see, and she gonna be like,
Right.
And she gonna start showering more, and then you could slowly catch up.
How about you just pull her in the shower when you shower, and you say you being romantic, but you really just trying to wash her ass? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta do slick shit like that. Listen to Teddy P, man.
Or just tell her how much you like to fuck in the shower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then y'all could do
Which
that.
is
like,
an overrated experience. I
It
would
is.
just say.
It is. It's very.
it's hard.
It's slippery.
Yeah.
Difficult.
You know, you can bust your ass real quick.
I mean, like, what if and then like, what if she slips and falls and like busts her head on like
On the faucet?
the hand on the
Yeah.
man, that's they got to clean up blood.
I mean, that's why you gotta have the right accommodations for that type of shit, though.
Yeah, you
know,
gotta
like,
have a
You
decent
can't.
size
You
shower.
can't.
It's got to be one of
them
them wide showers.
Yeah,
especially when
it gotta
like
be like
with
the
the
sanding shower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That's
Don't just go in your bathtub trying to be all extra with it.
nah, bruh.
Nah, it ain't gonna work. It's just gonna be uncomfortable.
Don't do
That's
that.
gonna be like trying to get some cheeks inside a Cavalier.
Don't do that, bro.
In the back of an escort.
Hatchback.
I mean, but once you find out how to get them back seat down, you can put the legs in the trunk and everything will be alright.
Oh
But,
man,
hey, man, you gotta make do with what you got sometimes, man. You know.
dog.
Make sure you cut the car off, dude. You
Yeah.
fuck around and get carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want that. You know, keep the windows cracked. You know, because it's gonna get hot and hard.
You don't want to get found like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that, I mean, I'm sure that'll be some news from Florida.
Here we go again.
Hey, yeah.
Was that on a Chris Brown episode? Because we had a long discussion about how much Florida sucks.
Yeah. That was on
week.
there.
That was on Bow Wow challenge.
Yeah.
I might release that segment just as a one-off.
Yeah.
But so just because of who the victims was, I gotta say these two chicks from somewhere where I forget, but they had to be bitch niggas of the week. Now I was actually commending the scams they pulled, cause they made off with like $600K. And but like they got caught up like splurging on shoes and shit because they was dumb, but they made off with like 600,000. You know what I'm saying? Now they in jail, but the victims was elderly folks, right? Yeah. Like really elderly. They got one of them out like 500-something thousand. The other one was like the remaining like $70-something thousand. Yeah, between two of them. Now, one of them, like, so, because what they would do is, they would send them some kind of notice about them having to pay some, just paying for something, whatever, but, like, it would be something that made sense.
Yeah.
And when they would send their information, because, you know, older people usually have on deck their banking info.
Yeah.
So they would get the routing number, or they would get the account number, or sometimes they would get like the credit card number and that security digits on the back. Start draining them out, man. One of them, she's like she's like renting a room now. Like all she can rent is a room, like not even home, like apartment to live in now. So I mean, hopefully that money can be returned. But
in time, because I mean, this is the elderly we talking about.
Man, like
you don't want to be like, yeah,
what I would hope would happen is that the banks would return, especially the one who lost like the 500-something thousand. Hopefully, they would like return that money, and then like the banks would be like, okay, we're gonna be the ones to pursue that from them.
Banks ain't doing it.
Yeah, nah.
Them old people just fucked pretty much.
Yeah, man.
But you got to be like a horrible piece of shit human being to steal from an old person, bro.
Yeah.
Like they obviously have not experienced living with somebody who had a fixed income. It's not fun.
If they had 500,000 to lose, they probably wasn't living. But
did they?
Wasn't too fixed. But I'm saying, still though, like
that's more than likely that's probably hard-earned money that was stashed for when they retired.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You're like old and vulnerable, and you're taking advantage of people. That's fucked up.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
If you gonna steal from a nigga that's young, so when they catch your ass, they can buzz it.
Right. Like, I had this thought of like, what would be the ill way to pull off the scam, but it wouldn't be too harmful. Like, if you could hack like a banking system and hit like 10 million people for like 50 cents. You get $5 million. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, it's not as bad.
Like the
Superman
3 scam.
Yeah. But dog, like hundreds of thousands of dollars from like the elderly. Now it's like, there's medications they can't pay for. They
pretty much just killed those old people.
Basically, yeah.
They just pushed them in the grave. They had one foot in the grave. They just helped them in there with that little nudge.
Yeah, man. So they get bitch niggas of the week. There was something I just was thinking about, but it just slipped my mind because I didn't have a note on it. So hey, it is what it is.
If it's important, it'll come back.
Right.
Close runner gotta be still, and I'm still for the second week running the Confederate monument protest.
Yeah, man. Everybody who was crying about the Confederate flag,
joked out about that shit.
They are definitely bitch niggas of the week. I seen somebody who had a Confederate flag that was LSU themed. But you know, out of the crowd that I seen, I think it was when they was taking down Jefferson Davis.
Yeah.
Out of that group, bitch nigga of the week, it was a black woman in the group.
Yeah.
Older black woman holding a flag. Like,
they got some black supporters for the Confederacy.
Somebody was made a comment to one of the newspapers. I think Maud.
She has to be named Maud, man.
Mammy.
But yeah, this she wrote into one of the newspapers or whatever, talking about if she was yelling about taking down the MLK something, that it would be racist. And I was like, yeah, it would. And then she was like, but all these people saying take down the Confederate stuff, I can't call them racist. And I was like, well, no, you can't. But just the amount of like butthurt that those people are about that shit. I mean, that's basically like, it's like having.
They were experiencing a level of ass itch fury that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy though, because like, what is their personal connection to any of that shit? Like, why do you care that much?
That's part of the Make America Great Again. They look at those guys as fighting for their rights. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, it's not racist. It's being a rebel. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's all these excuses that they give.
I feel
to have something that's like it's racist. Like, come on, like, yo, bro, nobody is running around with a swastika talking about, nah, it's just about a rebellion and standing up for your rights and your beliefs. No, man, it's anti-Semitic, it's racist, and it doesn't have to be anywhere. That's why there's no Adolf statues. The only time you hear about him is in history and like a museum where there's like memorabilia, but it's just to show how terrible that time in the world was.
Yeah.
Nobody's giving props to Adolf Hitler unless they're terrible people.
I think some of them are just mad because their family members are a part of that. And that they still raise those people up and put them on a pedestal.
Every argument that those people have for keeping those monuments is
just
dumb.
stupid.
It's dumb to me.
It is. Yeah. It's not to you. It's just dumb, period.
Yeah.
We're erasing history. No, we're not.
We know what it meant.
Right, we know the history.
Those people still exist.
That's why it's coming down.
Right, take it down, put it in a museum, turn Lee Circle to P Circle.
And then
they put a tank in that joint. You know what I'm saying? And
then it's like they were saying that Robert E. Lee hated slavery. Well, he had slaves, so no, he didn't. It's like just every one of them is bad. It's just bad arguments.
Yeah, bro.
Black people own slaves too. Take those monuments down too.
Right.
Oh wait, they don't have any.
Yeah, bro. That's.
I just let you know where we at. This is the time that we live in. Well, people are actually defending this type of shit, and they butthurt about it. So, oh well.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah.
Nobody gets participation.
Cue the brass band as the statues come down, because that shit had me joked out, bro.
That was like was perfect.
Nowhere else but in New Orleans, bro. They gonna make it a party as people are like fucking mourning the loss of their fucking heroes coming down, and the other half of the crowd is just out there celebrating with their whole brass band. Like there's an actual parade being made about this. Impromptu parade for y'all.
How they should have been out there and just go to like the protesters and be like, look, you're really gonna protest taking down this monument? And they're like, yeah, we're gonna stand for the, and then do what you wanna.
Do what you wanna.
You know what I'm saying? They should,
for y'all listeners that don't know, that's brass band right there.
They should have stacked all of them like on them long ass 18-wheelers, just lay them out and have like a repast. Follow them playing the music, you know what I mean? That's what they should have did, man.
Bro, when they put the fucking statues in the impound lot, bro, I was joked out.
In the impound lot?
Yeah, bro.
I mean, they gotta have somewhere to hold them over.
Yeah, bro, I laugh my ass up. Like, people are butthurt behind
that. Is hilarious.
Like, the statues just in the middle of all that shit.
That's funny. That is funny. Speaking of music, this might be our last part. I don't have anything else after. So, speaking of music.
Soul Child?
Brandon, you just heard My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Yes.
For the first time.
Yes, I did.
This album came out in 2012? 2011? No.
I think it was 2010.
Damn, really?
Might have been. It was around that time. 10, 11,
808s
12.
was 2008. So Dark Twisted Fantasy was 2000, I think 11. I think it was 11 because I think that's the same year Watch the Throne came out. So
2010.
2010?
2010 was his 5th studio album.
Damn. So, you know what? I'm not even gonna say your you said so. Your feelings on the album.
All right. Now, overall, I enjoyed that.
Also, before we go to that, did you participate in hearing when Good Fridays was going down? Did you were you hearing music coming out from Kanye during those months? He was dropping
I
out.
don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
See, now that makes it even better, because before we go into what you said, I had a problem with the album in the beginning, not because I didn't like it, but because during Good Fridays, Kanye was dropping a new song every Friday. What a time to be alive. Like 7 or 8 of those songs, like Monster, So Appalled, Power, Devil in a New Dress with Outlaws, Runaway.
So all the stuff that was on that.
They came out before the album.
Yeah, that.
So I heard. Yeah, I bet it would have. Because when the album finally was coming out and I seen the track list, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" That's why I didn't buy it. You know what I'm saying? So I would understand being frustrated by that, but knowing that you didn't experience Good Fridays when we did, your take on the album.
All right. Like I said before, I like the album, but I'm hard on albums. I'm very hard because I feel like the artists put this together for me to buy it. They want me to buy it. Now, for this album, just like a lot of other albums, they kind of do like how movies do when they kind of tell you the plot of the movie in a trailer. So when I get to the movie, I know what the fucking movie is and it's ruined and I don't want to I'm mad now. This is the same thing with this. Now,
explain.
I wasn't too familiar with the album, but I was familiar with the singles, even though I didn't hear, Good Fridays, like how you were saying. But I heard most of the album before I actually listened to the album.
Okay.
So the tracks that I didn't recognize is what I'm left with.
Okay.
Minus the, the outros and interludes and all that shit. So that's like maybe 3, maybe 4 songs that I'm left with that I don't know, that I have to judge. And I wasn't fucking with most of them.
Okay.
Maybe one is a possible that I still fuck with. That was that So Appalled shit. It's still growing on me.
So Appalled was more new to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, I could deal with this, but the rest of them.
You want to know what else is frustrating with So Appalled for me?
What?
I heard So Appalled in 2009 when that verse came, because if you notice, that's not a recent Kanye. If you listen to that verse, especially compared to the rest of the album.
Yeah.
I heard that when that verse came out, it leaked out with just that and like the first part of the hook before Sahai was added to it, and then just the beat. So I heard that song was like a year and a half old by the time the song came out on Good Fridays, and then the album.
Yeah, but see, and here's where it was, where the problem came in for me. Now, the reason why I say I'm hard on the albums is because all those songs that came out, I consider them singles because I either heard them on the radio or they got to me, before the actual album did. So I don't count those tracks. So all that shit that was, and they're good tracks. I enjoy all those tracks, but I can't count that because that's the giveaways. Okay. That's all in the trailer.
Okay.
You want me to buy the album? I got the whole bulk of the album that I enjoy already for free. So that's what I'm saying. If I would have purchased that album, not knowing anything about it, I'd have been way pissed off. I'd have been like, this is trash. Kanye, you lost a fan. I'm never coming back.
So I have to say that CD was probably one of his better ones, first of all.
It's my second. It's my third favorite Kanye album.
Yeah.
Of all.
Second is 7 years later. So all of those singles that you heard were not initially singles. So when you bought the album, you might have had Runaway, I think may have been the single from that album.
The only singles on the album
Power.
Power
Runaway,
was the first single.
Monster.
Power, Sidebar, the way he debuted that on the BET Awards was fucking amazing. But Power was the first single, and then the one you just mentioned,
Runaway
was the next single, and then Monster was a single, but then the video really coming out legitimately was scrapped.
And
So
can't forget All the Lights.
and all of the lights. So
And I
Not
like
all of
them.
I guess my thing is not all of them came out as singles when the album was released. Like the album was released with a lead single, which was probably Power.
yeah.
So all of those other ones would have became singles from later on, like Radio Play and stuff. And now
Exactly.
we're 7 years later, so more of the album is gonna be played in that time than would have initially have been.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't have bought an album of singles. Is the point I'm making.
Mm-hmm. And I think with when you heard it, since you heard it so out of order, it's like you said, it's like it ruined it for you.
Yeah.
So, but if you my main thing was like, all right, so you have these songs that you actually like that you've heard. Do you recall what the songs were that you don't like on that album? Because that's what I was like. What songs don't you like on this album?
The last two, but the last one is an outro.
So
So
the last one.
I don't
so
like
the one,
Blame Game.
It's very 808s and heartbeats.
Yeah.
So
To me.
Blame Game to me is one of
It's
my
okay.
It's one of my favorite Kanye songs ever. Like that second verse where the voice keeps changing and shit. I love that shit. So, I fucking love that shit, yo.
I don't know if
I
could
don't.
go that far.
Like not like on the
Disagreement.
like for real. I would say you're actually like the first people I've heard not speak highly of that song. So that's interesting to me. Like,
I mean, because you're at the same time, like we just said, it's so much time has passed by since it's been out. So you also have to factor in how many people are actually like really listening to the song, or are they fans of Kanye? And because it's a Kanye song, oh yeah, I fuck with this song.
see, so with that, what was funny is that somebody else who I'm friends with put online that they just went back and revisited that album, and it still was amazing. That's why I really wanted to bring it back up on here, because I was like, I just went and re-listened to it, and I agreed. I still love it the same way. I still love it the same way as the first time I heard it, even with having the songs that I heard before the album came out as a full package. Like, I just think the album as a whole is just amazing.
But like I said, it's like I don't dislike the album, but had I purchased the album, I'd have been pissed. Like, because just for like I said, with the singles and shit, and that's just me when it comes down to purchasing music. Now, if I'd have just got it for free, then I'd have been all happy-go-lucky with it. Oh yeah, it's some good shit, But if I'd have purchased this, I'd have been mad at that album.
I don't know. I have to respectfully disagree.
Like, it's not his worst at all.
There are definitely albums that I would say that if I purchased, I would have been highly upset, pissed off. But that's not one of them.
So overall, as far as the quality, like taking away like the fact that you heard a bulk of the album before you got to hear the whole thing in its correct order, where do you rank it on his albums? And just a side question, do y'all count Watch the Throne in his discography or no? Because some people, they'll be like, they don't count it because it's a duet with Jay.
I mean, I wouldn't say it, like, it's not really I never considered it really a Kanye release.
Okay.
Well, I would put that album,
I mean, I guess it could be.
I would still say it's behind Graduation.
So what's your number one favorite Kanye album?
My favorite Kanye album, it's a tie between Late Registration and College Dropout.
Okay.
It's a tie between them. Like, sometimes I listen to Late Registration, I'm like, oh yeah, I like this more. But then sometimes I listen to College Dropout, I'm like, nah, I like this more.
Okay.
So it depends on what mood I'm in, of which one of those got number one.
So if you had to put them in order, what would your order be?
All right, just the order that it came out. Take 808s out.
So like you feel like it was here and then just a drop.
Like I like the first two pretty much the same. Then Graduation came out. I'm like, all right, cool. I fucks with it.
Okay.
Then 808s, I'm like, it's okay. Not one of my favorites, but it's okay. I get what he was trying to do. then my dog Twisted, however you say the shit, that came out. I would have to say that's exactly where I would put it. It's like I can either put it before 808s or after 808s. Either way, it's still back there.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I would put it after Late Registration, College Dropout, Late Registration, that, then Graduation, and then everything else after that.
Have you heard Life of Pablo?
Trash for me.
I heard some parts of Life of Pablo, and at
Okay.
that point, I'm like, I don't need to hear the rest.
Okay. Have you heard Jesus?
No. Like I said, Kanye lost
No
me.
one's heard that.
Kanye lost my ear.
What is Jesus? That didn't happen.
Kanye lost my ear around 808s and Heartbreak. It's like, all right, I see which direction you're going. You're trying different stuff. I'll come back once you figured out who you are.
So
I'm not fucking with this experimental Kanye.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're locked in with Kanye at this point, I believe.
Yeah, that's why I'm not mad that he's locked away in the mountain somewhere for the next
808
album. Maybe it'll get him out the sunken place.
808 and Heartbreaks was the worst Kanye CD
Really?
besides Life of Pablo.
Really?
Yeah, Life of Pablo.
Wow.
But 808s was
Wow.
not good.
So my Kanye album list, one is different from y'all's, and I'm sure I'm gonna get. I mean, y'all know there's a point where like anybody who listens to it is gonna be like, "Yo, fuck this nigga," like he doesn't know what he's talking about. So number one is Late Registration. To me, that album it's a 9.995 because they should have had the original Diamonds Are Forever rather than the remix with Jay on there.
They did have it. It's at the end. It must be whatever version you get.
Okay, well, they should have
'Cause I
not
didn't like-
had the remix on there.
I didn't like the remix.
They shouldn't have had the remix
Got
on
it
there.
from here, yeah, damn.
Yeah, oh, come on, man.
But the original
And then it
was
goes
at
back
end,
to
though.
the original verse on there. Get out of here, Hove. You know what I'm saying? Although I did like the, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna crack part of me. I had to laugh at that with the Fat Joe jab on there. I do like that. But it would have been better just as a one-off to the side, like how the Power remix was. But Late Registration, 808s is my number 2 favorite Kanye album.
Stop it.
I love that shit.
Stop it.
Love. Love. Because, man, so one obviously is different from everything else that he's done.
Okay.
So I like that it wasn't the same as everything, not just from him, but everybody else at the time.
That's why I gotta stop you. It was already done. Like 808, the sound of 808s and Heartbreak just reminded me of The Love Below.
A not as good version.
Yeah,
Not nearly
that's
as
why
good.
I'm like, it
Is
was. That's
it
why
is it is it
it's
the
not
sing?
bad.
Is it the but so is it? That would be the only thing I could compare them to. The same is the singing
Yeah,
because
well,
the production is totally different from each other.
I agree.
Yeah,
But I think
the fact that he's trying to do that
Doing
lane,
some
it's
bit-
like you saying he created that lane.
No,
Well, I ain't saying he's created
I'm not saying he created a lane or that he pioneered something different. What I'm saying is that at that point when that album came out, it was different from every other Kanye album.
All right.
And besides Andre, other rappers wasn't making
T-Pain?
whole singing albums.
T-Pain?
But at that point he was mainly a singer. And then he started getting back into being a rapper, whereas Kanye was a rapper just doing a whole singing album.
Now,
T-Pain
was a producer doing the whole singing album.
Yeah, so then T-Pain had a singing album, followed by a singing album, followed by a singing album. Has T-Pain ever done a whole rap album?
His first album.
yeah,
He was originally a rapper.
I'm gonna
when he
say
started singing.
I respect him for trying it.
Yeah.
But to me, it just didn't land. First of all, I didn't like. It was very auto-tune heavy.
Oh yeah, it was.
The mood of the album was way down, depressed.
I get where Kid Cudi fits. in
Yeah,
that.
see,
Yeah.
and that's kind of an understated point of that album is that was a Kanye album that was on the back of Kid Cudi. It was very heavily Kid Cudi influenced. Like he was right there hand in hand with him I think that's when he first started going to Hawaii to get away from everybody to do the album.
Fair enough.
But Kid Cudi was like right there with him to
where is he
do
now?
it.
It's trash.
in the sunken place, in the trash place. But just like for me, like the way the album sounds, I love the production on it. I actually like, cause I never listened to it for good singing. I just really like the way that the album was done.
Now, here's the thing when it came down to 808s for me. It's like, it's not bad. It's just, you know how everybody was like taken by it when it came out. I'm like, I mean,
there are people who are gonna gas anything from somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I never got to that point with it. I just really enjoyed it. And it was like, I really, really enjoyed that album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
it wasn't bad. It's just I didn't like it compared to the other ones. I never could
get into it.
Right.
If I'm gonna listen to a full album that's, you know, heavy production and auto tune and all of that, then I'm gonna go back and listen to like Rodgers and Zapp or something. Like, I don't want to hear Kanye do that.
Right. I get that. So after 808s, I put Dark Twisted Fantasy. After Dark Twisted Fantasy, I put Graduation. And then after Graduation, I put College Dropout. College Dropout, not because I know that's like people's point of contention when I talk about Dropout. College Dropout to me is like a really dope demo. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's parts that I could easily do away with and not have to listen to. But then there's other parts that's like, this is like groundbreaking, this is beautiful music, this is amazing. But then there's others that I'm like, I could do without that. I don't need the Ludacris song. I don't need the skits. I don't need School Spirit is cool, but I don't really need it.
But that's the whole. It's like
there's plenty of other songs that I don't really. Whereas like Never Let You Down, fucking Through the Wire, Family. What was the last one? Family Business.
Yeah.
Something like that. The shit is Tears to the Rock.
Yeah.
Like, man, that shit was like Jesus Walks. Like. Spaceship, dog. Like, come on. Like, there are points where he was
like, if you look at a track list, like, what song would you cut out? What songs would you cut out from the track list?
Can you pull up a track list?
The only song off the top of my head that I would let go completely off the album is the one with Ludacris.
Yeah, I agree with you on Ludacris. Breathe Out. Because that was like at the end of, that was like during Ludacris' decline for me.
Get 'Em High was fucking fire, yo.
And it was really just Ludacris' verse on Breathe In, Breathe Out that I could do without.
Cause I totally agree with you on Breathe In, Breathe Out.
Can't take that all at one time. Gotta breathe.
In and out.
But I feel like that was when Ludacris started being on his decline in rap.
Probably.
You know,
that was in 2005. Yeah, 2005.
He was not that great.
Shit, Word of Mouth got off, man.
I never heard a whole Ludacris album.
Word of Mouth was good.
I've never heard.
Back for the First Time was good.
He's had
once
singles.
he did Red Light District.
So let's go through this track list.
So the intro, that doesn't count.
Okay.
We don't care as the first song.
Okay, that song was cool.
Graduation Day, that's a skit. All Falls Down.
All Falls Down is great.
Okay.
I'll Fly Away, skit.
But it's actually a great skit.
Yeah, it is. Spaceship
is great.
Jesus Walks
is great.
Never Let Me Down,
it's great.
Get 'Em High,
it's great.
Workout Plan, skit.
But new workout plan is actually great. I love that song.
Yeah. Slow Jams,
great.
Breathe In, Breathe Out,
Get Away From Me.
School Spirit, skit. School Spirit, School Spirit, skit too. Lil Jimmy,
skit.
2 Words.
2 Words was my shit.
Yo, man, don't even question me on 2 Words.
Through the Wire, Family Business, and Last Call.
Okay.
So minus the skits and minus,
so take away the skits and breathe in, breathe out,
and it's a classic.
And you actually have, if it was just that, bar none, that's classic. But when it comes to, so what I'm just judging it on is like, it's like how I judge Jay against Jay. Compared to the other music, I just feel like the other music just came out better.
Compared to his other music,
I just feel like the other ones were just better. like just person, I just feel like they were better. Like
we're gonna have to agree to
oh, of course, and that's cool.
I mean, because I just heard you just got rid of one song and a few skits,
right?
Which is still like you still got an album, man.
So here's the comparison still to himself. Late Registration, I'm getting rid of one song. 808s, me personally, I'm not getting rid of any songs.
Getting rid of the whole track.
Yeah.
Dog Twisted Fantasy, I'm not getting rid of any songs.
I'm getting rid of a few.
Funny thing though, Graduation. You know what? No, I'm actually not getting rid of any songs on Graduation.
I fucks with Graduation.
There's two songs that I sometimes skip, which were Drunken Hot Girls and Barry Bonds, but I'm not getting rid of them.
Yeah, because sometimes you might want to hear that.
Sometimes I want to hear
that's exactly what the tracks are.
College Dropout. Yeah, I'm getting rid of a song and some skits. It leaves an amazing album.
So you're really not doing that much trimming though.
Yeah, I'm not doing that much trimming. All I'm doing really is just comparing what's left to the others, and to me, just personally, the others were better. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously there's like no right and wrong answer. And then Kanye at that time, I feel like other people's performance and the production carried the album more than Kanye himself. Whereas Kanye on Late Registration, even if you just get rid of the few features he had on the album, Kanye, I feel he performed better on there than on College Drop, which is why I say it's a dope ass demo. You know what I'm saying? It's like it had room for improvement, but it still was great. It just had room for improvement.
I just took a look at the track listings for the first 3 songs. The first 3 albums, and then My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Skipping over 808s because I don't like that album. There's literally, from all 3 albums, there's literally like maybe 2 songs that I would get rid of.
Yeah, man, Kanye has a run that people don't really give its proper due. He dropped a lot of amazing music back to back to back. Questionable with 808s, obviously, for people. But he dropped a lot of amazing music back to back to back.
I'm not questioning his catalog. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna do that.
And just to finish it out, there's like a few songs on Pablo that I like, and then there's the Yeezus album that never happened, which is then there's Dog Shit on Your Brand New White Shoes, and there's Getting Punched in the Chest by 1993 Mike Tyson, and then there's Yeezus. So so yeah.
And that's neglecting Watch the Throne, because that was an amazing
piece. And that's not including Watch the Throne.
And that is another one that I have not listened to all the way through.
That shit is great, man.
I just haven't. I just keep putting it to the side.
Watch the Throne is great.
But that's why I enjoy listening to music the way I do. Mm-hmm. Because like I know eventually I can always go back and just pick it up and be like, all right.
That's what I like about now, because
I don't have nobody else's opinion.
You can really do that now because you can stream everything, so everything's really, you don't have to think about going to the store and finding a copy if it's out of print or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time where like the in-between time of not having streaming and certain classics going out of print, if you didn't have like a mom and pop shop that had one where you was willing to spend like mad bread on, there was some classics you just didn't hear. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when Life After Death went out of print, I seen one at Peaches for like $200.
Damn.
They had my nigga. They had Chopper City for $50.
Yeah.
But like it was at a time where I really wanted to buy some old cat. I went to Odyssey and got that shit for $16.99.
Yeah. It seems like it was.
Rest in peace, Odyssey Records, man. Yeah. DJ Khaled used to work there.
Yeah, he did.
Wasn't worth 50.
No. No.
Shout out to the Calvin Shopping Center. You're
word. But yeah, man. Now this will be released. Dog, yeah, man. This was a good second episode.
Second episode.
Second episode part 2.
We was fooling y'all.
You ever be in the shower and just watch the sub-sus go down, crack of his head?
Nah.
What?
Those jokes.
Those was jokes. I was fooling y'all. Man, cut the fuck calls, nigga.
Yeah, that wasn't episode 2. This is episode 2.
This is episode 2, man. You know what I'm
Talk
saying?
that other one up because we, take it as another Shad Moss L.
Yeah, man.
We said his name too many times in the episode.
Man, see, Bow Wow came through and he said he pressed record. Turned out it never happened. Yo, one Bow Wow L to mention though. Yo, did y'all hear about the time where he was talking about being in a mansion, but turns out it's just like a high-rise apartment in LA?
No.
It was like, yo, Bow Wow lives right there. Like, I can see his balcony.
Now, you saw the one where he was like driving around in this Porsche and he was like acting like it was his until the people who he rented it from like gave him a shout out on the same picture he was stunting with.
The worst, the saddest one where he was right outside 106 in Park. And he was like, they don't know it's me.
Yeah.
They weren't
They ain't care.
They don't know you.
They probably recognized it and went on about their business.
Oh, just Bow Wow.
They probably didn't even recognize him.
Is that Bow Wow? Yeah, that's Bow Wow.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking about going to Wendy's. How about y'all? I hope he's not going to Wendy's.
Bruh, it's like, Bow Wow is becoming Mr. L now.
He's a caricature. He's a meme.
But I'm noticing that's happening a lot with a lot of hip hop artists. It's like after rap, you have to find a way to either stay relevant or you just become a big ass caricature.
Dog. Yo,
Look at
before
DMX.
seeing Bow Wow, DMX is he's sick, man. I just want DMX to be okay. But before Bow Wow,
but he can actually survive being a caricature of himself because that movie scene he did for that Top 5 movie, that was hilarious. And he was just being him.
See, the thing about that, I was listening to an interview, and not to go too long, to extend this shit too long, but it sounded like DMX, like, clearly there's something not right there.
I mean, we always
know
that, though.
There was, like a couple hours where it's like that DMX that's still inside of him came through, and that's what they caught on camera. Mm-hmm. And then it's like he goes back to being what you see regular, where it's like you could tell he's dealing with his addictions and shit, which is kind of sad. It's like,
it is sad.
If he was just always the dealing with his addictions version of himself, then be like, it's just like, that's just DMX now. But when you see him and like when his voice goes back to normal, and his face is like not all strung out anymore, it's like, yo, man, that's the dog, you know what I'm saying? And then he goes back to it and it's like, shit, man, like, it's about to be 20 years since his Dark and Hell is Hot, bro.
Yeah.
That was the fucking album, man.
He put out 2 amazing albums back to back.
Yeah, in the same
Then there was X, Flesh of My Flesh.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I just want the dog to get well. But an understated L taker for doing bullshit on Instagram is the game.
The game just takes fucking L's in general.
He takes other people's pictures and posts them, and then they'll be like, no, that's mine. Look, I posted this 16 weeks ago. So it's like he goes and finds people's old pictures.
Check, pump.
Like, what IG post?
You want this photo?
It's like it's both ours, but just keep it on my page.
You gonna post that?
You know what I'm saying? But then it's like, but the difference between him and Bow Wow, one is like he still would rumble with niggas if he wanted to, and he still could rap.
Yeah, Game is still talented.
No one's checking for a Bow Wow verse.
I'm not really checking for a Game verse.
Hey, yo, dog, Game been coming through with some heat though.
But Game been like that rapper who like is consistently gonna give you something to listen to. And you're not really going to be too upset with it.
His last 3 projects been heat. Actually 4. Documentary 2 was fire. Documentary 2.5, them other 2 discs that he did was fire. 1992 was amazing. And Streets of Compton for his A&E documentary was really hot too.
Standing on Ferraris, nigga.
Yeah, man. Standing on Ferraris with Puff Daddy. So I did a video for my homeboy, well, you know him as Cliff.
Shout out to Cliff.
But
Chicken Head King.
Chicken Head King. His rap name is Guala. If you heard him, he did the drop for us on the first episode. You can follow him at Guala_9. I did a little mini doc for him. You know what I'm saying? We about to drop that, which would be tomorrow. Because I'm doing these videos. I'm calling it Born and Raised, right? I'm trying to find people doing some cool shit and do like little 6-7 minute documents of them, have them talk and tell their story. So the first one I did was for my mans. I'm gonna post that shit everywhere. Check it out. It's gonna be on the They Said That podcast YouTube page. Shit's kind of fire. I got my first directorial debut. And yeah, man, if you're trying to get on there, holla at us, cut the check, and yeah, man, that's it.
That boy got out there like they about to pass a collection plea around this bitch.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's it.
I ain't got no more change.
Now we gonna pass the collection. Stop.